forever. All right. This is episode 115 of the Battle of Ohio Sadcast. I mean podcast. Yeah, of course. Why would I mean Sadcast when both Thomas and I our teams didn't lose in extremely sad and depressing and ridiculous and stupid ways this week. Totally didn't have a chance to take control of the AFC North and floundered against teams that we totally should have beat. Man, we got a lot of crap to talk about today, Thomas. It's going to be an interesting episode. But don't forget, the Steelers suffered their biggest blowout defeat since 1989 this week. Because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh, whose baseball team is at home because they can't deflect all their anger away from the football team, the baseball team like me, because my football team dead, go Guardians. Still sucks. You suck, the Pirates.
Damn right. All right. So, you know what? Before I forget.
You not doing the music?
I forgot. I almost forgot.
Welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
So Thomas,
Kyle.
I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna do an impression of Kevin Stefanski and Zach Taylor. Okay, so just watch your screen real quick.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know.
That
might have been one of the most depressing weeks in combined Bengals and Browns history. I mean, obviously, each of us have had more depressing weeks through our team, but together, that might have been one of the most depressing Bengals-Browns weeks of all time.
I've never been more mad after a football game in my life. Like, you see, y'all see this, right? Cal, you heard what I said last week. I've been saying this for weeks. There are 3 good teams in Cleveland right now. So if one of them's bad, we're just going to move to another one. Well, actually, Browns fans for the longest have been putting up with the Cleveland Browns shit for the longest. They been putting up with the shit for the longest. And, they kind of got a pass. Because it was like, you're in Ohio. You can't really win in Ohio. Well, we have proven that to be false. The Cleveland Cavaliers won an NBA championship. The hardest sport for a small market team to win is in basketball. And the Cavaliers won a championship. And they rebuilt the new dynasty. What is your excuse, Browns?
Yeah.
What is your excuse? Your owner got oil money. He's oil rich. This motherfucker's father be chilling with the Bushes. He's oil rich. Ah, dang. Don't get me starting with Bengals, too. Y'all need to fire our coach.
I don't agree with that. However, I am so okay. So let me go on a little. I've already gone on a ton of rants about the Bengals already. I've already put out like I had my stream where I ranted in the middle of the game, and then I put out the clip of me ranting in the stream, and then I did a recap video where I ranted in the recap. So I'm kind of all ranted out right now. I'm kind of a little tired of ranting because I've kind of said everything that I have to say. But I will say the thing about like Zach Taylor is not a bad coach. He makes very bad decisions sometimes, but he's not a bad coach. He doesn't deserve to be fired. But what I will say is, could we pretty please with sugar on top and with like all the other just be very, very nice of you, Mr. Nice Zach Taylor, with your happy, personality. I don't know. Well, like just pretty please call something other than a shovel pass or a actually, no, that was still or a straightforward shovel, which I guess is just a pitch. Call something other than a shovel pass or a pitch on 4th down, please. It's not working, please. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's bad.
Okay,
no,
so
it's bad.
Let's talk about the 4th down decision real quick. So like Now, it would have changed the whole complexion of the game if the Bengals had had that field goal. And so, I mean, things would have gone differently. So you can't really say, oh, they win if they get that field goal instead of instead of being stuffed at the goal line. Because maybe something else happens at the end of the game, or maybe the Ravens are a little bit more aggressive or whatever. Although it is true that we only lost by 2 points. So maybe if we take that field goal, maybe things turn out differently. But I will say, in his defense, to go for it, your defense is supposedly playing really, really, really well. And if your defense is playing really, really well and your offense is having trouble building momentum, but they have momentum right now, do you really want to kind of kill some of that momentum by getting a field goal? And I'll tell you one thing, I was watching the stream and I was like, I go for the field goal.
You go for that field goal?
What the fuck? What the hell was that? My microphone fell over on me. I said during the broadcast, and I stand by it, that most of the time I agree with Zach Taylor that you should go for it. But in this particular case, I would take the field goal because, quite frankly, you tie the game, the defense is playing well, and so that gives the offense the opportunity, if they can't get it together, which they haven't yet today, if they can't get it together, you can the way they're playing right now, you can probably trust them to go get a field goal to go win the game. But instead, you put yourself in a situation where you've got the ball late in the game and you don't have full control over the clock. So you run down the field, you go get your touchdown, which is awesome. But the problem is you leave too much time on the clock for the Ravens. And the problem is you're not going up against, like Aaron Rodgers, right? You're not going up, or like Mason Crosby, I guess, when we're talking about kickers. You're not going up against Mason Crosby. You're not going up against Tyler Bass. You're not going up against Chris Boswell. You're not going up against Cade York. We'll talk about him in a minute. But you're not going up against those kind of kickers. You're going up against Justin Tucker. Okay? The Ravens are going to start with the ball at the 25-yard line because you're going to kick a touchback, and they need like 20 yards to get in Justin Tucker's field goal range. Don't forget, this man has the NFL record for longest kick in the NFL. They need 20 yards. And so what are you doing? You have to play ball control game here because at the end of the day, Justin Tucker is a damn weapon. And if you give him a chance to beat you, he will.
Man, I just your offense should just be better though, right?
There are so many I've been killing the defense over the last couple of days because as great as they were, we're also the first team in NFL history, Thomas, to lose 3 of our first 5 games on a last-second field goal. So everybody's like, "Oh, the defense is so good. The defense is so good." Well, you know what? When it matters, they're not good. They keep letting teams drive down the field. They can't stop them. They can stop them from getting touchdowns, which is great. They're gonna have really great stats this year. But as far as winning ball games, if a team needs to go down the field and get a field goal, they can do that against our defense because our defense is perfectly content with letting them do whatever they want for the first 80 yards. They're quite good in the red zone. I'll give them credit for that. They're really tough when when you have a shortened field. But when you have the whole field to have to pay attention to, this defense is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the offense is a bigger problem. The offense, I don't know what the hell's wrong with the offense, but it's definitely a bigger problem than the defense. But we all talk about how, we all know how bad the offense is. We can see it clearly. Everybody talks about it. Nobody's talking about how this defense is not as good as they're hyped up to be. In clutch situations.
I mean, if the Browns only give up 19 points each game, they'll be freaking 5-0 right now.
Yes, but that's the thing. You have to have an efficient, really good offense for a defense like that to be a good thing. If you have so there's plenty of teams in the NFL that don't have teams that can put up 30 points a game. Apparently, ours is one of those. It shouldn't be. Our offense is insane because it should be able to, but they currently can't.
It's insane because I think that's the most frustrating thing about both our teams because you see the talent, you're like, this shouldn't be a problem. Y'all got Joe Burrow, y'all got Jay Beasley. I always talk about Jacoby Brissett being Jub Easy. Y'all got Jay Beasy. In fact, I'm probably gonna be saying that longer than Jub Easy because Jub Easy be throwing some picks easy. We'll get to that later. But y'all have Jay Beasy. And one thing I like, you see these weapons. You got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins. T. Higgins was actually hurt, right? He didn't play this game, right? He didn't play. He didn't play.
Yeah, he's got like an ankle injury, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like Jamar Chase, Hayden Hurst, he looked pretty good. He didn't look bad at all. Actually, he looked pretty good.
Dude, Jamar Chase,
nice touchdown by him. No, Hayden Hurst.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
he looked nice, actually. He looked good. That was the
Hurst. I was saying during the game, I think Hayden Hurst might be our best offseason addition. Ted Karras, the new center, definitely has an argument, but Hayden Hurst has been fantastic for us.
No, he's been doing great. I've been like what I've been seeing from that kid. Shout outs to you. But like it just doesn't make sense what we're seeing here. It's almost like you're like this is supposed to work, but it's not. Why isn't this working? What's happening for it not to work? And I guess that's why a lot of people look at Zach Taylor because Zach Taylor, I don't know, man. I don't know. I always been lukewarm about that guy. I always been lukewarm about that guy. And he has his franchise quarterback in there right now. He has a top 10 quarterback in the league, top 5 quarterback, really. And he's not making it work.
Yeah. But my only thing about Zach Taylor is this team never gives up. Like under Zach Taylor, I watched too many Marvin Lewis teams just give up after the third quarter constantly. Zach Taylor's teams never give up, and I mean he struggles with scheme, and in certain cases he struggles with play calling. I think he gets killed too much for his play calling, but there are instances where his play calling is a problem. And like it's really just I think it's an experience thing, and I mean but at the same time. The issues that we're having now, Thomas, like go back and listen to the Battle of Ohio podcast from the first 5 weeks last year. It's the same thing. Yeah. I'm saying the same.
It's still early, man.
It's still
early in the season.
5 weeks into the season last year.
It's still early in the season. I don't really think. The whole thing is the Ravens don't really scare me. I don't think what they're doing is sustainable. I think we got to play the Ravens in January. I don't think the Ravens will be able to beat y'all. But I mean,
trust me. At the end of the podcast, I have got some stuff to say about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, something just don't look right in Baltimore.
There's definitely issues, and if the Bengals can get their shit together, then they'll pummel the Ravens. They had opportunities to pummel them this time. Now, they also, honestly, the fact that the defense only gave up 19 points is maybe you could argue that, that's a little fishy because, there were a lot of instances where Lamar Jackson just straight up overthrew guys who had sure touchdowns. It's like it looks like the defense did really good. The reality is I don't feel that did that well.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and name our underrated player of the week for the Bengals. Who do you got?
You want Simone Pierre, Simone Pinero, Simone. But your backup running back, man. Like that guy. You talk about people not getting up. He just makes good plays, and that's what I like about him because he's efficient. We talk about underrated players of the week. I can't really say Hayden Hurst. Because I really want to say Hayden Hurst, but he's not really underrated. Y'all went out and got him on free agency. So, when I think of this award, I think about somebody who, I think about that player who, when the chips are down, still playing hard, is always making good plays. He's always making good plays. He's always making a good catch. If he's not making a good catch, he's making a solid run or two. I like him.
Well, and I
like him a lot.
He exemplifies that Zach Taylor thing I was just talking about before of never give up because every time you see Samaje Perine run the ball, even if he only gets even if it's a terrible run, even if he gets tackled at the one with a 1 yard gain, he never stops moving. He's pushing and pushing, and if he can push that pile, he will. He usually pushes it 2 or 3, 4 yards. Sometimes he gets stopped because honestly, he's just he's there. He's a backup running back for a reason. But sometimes he gets stopped. He's not like the most elite player in the world, but I mean he never quits and he pushes that pile. And well, I'll get into that in a second. But your underrated player is Samaje Perine. I want to make a comment about something you said real quick. First of all, Samaje Perine's good. Obviously he's the backup running back. And he deserves, he came in and he balled out, when he was playing today. So he absolutely, I think, deserves a shout out. A lot of people are talking about him right now. So exactly how exactly how well he qualifies for underrated at this exact moment, I don't know. But like in general, I think he is underrated. But I also,
at the end of the day, he's a backup running back.
Exactly. You mentioned Hayden Hurst, and I think Hayden Hurst would have been like a fine pick, honestly, because while he is our starting tight end, and yes, we went out and got him in free agency, and I'm saying now that he's probably like our best free agent signing. At the same time, like especially on a national level, nobody really thinks about Hayden Hurst. Like, I mean, like he got passed off back and forth between the Ravens and the Falcons, and he ended up on the Bengals with like almost no fanfare coming into the city. And even now, it's like nobody really thinks about him as a great fantasy option. Nobody's really thinking about him as like nobody's talking about him in the NFL outside of unless you're really paying attention to the Bengals.
I don't know why I'm always drooling over y'all receivers. I hate that. Or y'all tight ends. I mean, I like Njoku. That's the one thing I like Njoku. But man, I wish I had Jamar Chase.
Hayden Hurst is great, but I mean, our other tight end right now is Devin Asiasi, who I believe was hurt and didn't even play. And then Drew Sample's out for the year, and even when he's not out, he's not any good. But dude, Jamar Chase is great, but dude had 12 targets and got 50 yards out of it. Dude was targeted 12 times. Like Joe Burrow, part of the reason Joe Burrow threw a really bad interception to Patrick Queen is because he was trying to force the ball to Jamar Chase. Quite honestly, I mean, I like Jamar Chase, but I wish we would kind of maybe try to utilize Jamar Chase a little bit less because we have other guys on the field who can catch the ball. And right now, other opposing defenses are focusing so hard on stopping Jamar Chase that, quite frankly, if you're able to throw it to other people. Tyler Boyd eats. Hayden Hurst eats. T. Higgins, he couldn't this week, but I mean, he eats. Mike Thomas got a big catch in this game. I'm I love Jamar Chase, and I hope we can get him going. But if teams are insisting on shutting him down, we have other dudes who can eat. And Jamar Chase might get frustrated, but I mean, he's got to understand.
If you want the ball, you got to get open. It's point blank. I mean, man, and I really like Jamar Chase. I'm with you, man. If y'all got a lot of weapons. Y'all got a lot of weapons. Y'all got what? 2 to 3 players that can just take it to the house. I'm sorry, Joe Mixon take it to the house any moment. Jamar Chase take it to the house any moment. And T. Higgins can make a big-time catch any moment. Y'all got big-time players, man. And then Tyler Boyd. Honestly, I think Tyler Boyd can take it to the house any moment. And he proven that. He
has.
So
even when Andy Dalton was the quarterback, he did that. Speaking of big players, my underrated player of the week is actually going to be, believe it or not, it's going to be Joe Mixon. So we both picked the running back. But the reason I'm picking Joe Mixon is, everybody knows who Joe Mixon is. Everybody probably picked him in the first or second round of their fantasy league this year. Joe Mixon doesn't have a recognition problem by any means. But what he has, and it's his own damn fault, but what he has had this year is a problem of people doubting him and people recognizing, honestly recognizing that he has been performing not so well this season. A lot of speculation about, is he injured? Should they give Samaje Perine more touches, et cetera, et cetera. But, dude, that man came out and had 5.8 yards per carry this week against Baltimore. Got off to a little bit of a slow start. The first couple of drives weren't so good. But once he got going, he could not be stopped. Like I was saying during my stream of the game, I was saying that I wonder if he started studying some Samaje Perine film because, I mean, he started doing that same thing where he was just he kept those legs moving. He was fighting for every yard, and you love to see it.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, like he's good, and I got a lot of I got a lot of big hopes for him, man. He got to have a good season this year. That's a good running back, man.
Yep. And the offensive line is doing better too. So I mean, like there are a couple issues. Lyle Collins is still making some really boneheaded plays, but he's also like doing a lot better with blocking most of the time. So it's just like the offensive line's coming together. You know?
Yeah, y'all be fine. Like I still think long term y'all be fine.
I think we will too, because last year we could have very, very easily been 2-3 last year. Like I said, if Dalvin Cook doesn't, quote unquote fumble the ball in that week 1 game against the Vikings, then they probably get a field goal and beat us on a last second field goal instead of the other way around. And then, we win the next 2 games, and then we lose. We lose to the Bears, start out 0-2, win the next 2 games, and then lose in week 5 to the Packers in basically the same way that we just lost to the Ravens. I mean, it's just like we're doing almost verbatim the exact same thing that we did last year. Now, the key is like, can you really expect that we're gonna like suddenly turn things on and go on a huge run again next year? I mean, at the end of the season and end up in the Super Bowl again? That's a bit of a stretch, especially because now this time around we have 2 division losses, which we didn't have 2 division losses last year. We didn't start playing division games until we started getting momentum and getting going. But now we have 2 division losses, so we're probably we're probably in a position right now where wild card spot is a more realistic option for where we're at.
Nah, because like I mean, 2 division losses are bad, but it ain't killer. Y'all still win this division because I don't like the Ravens always play bad in the second half. So that's the only team in front of y'all. True. The Browns still got ways to go before Watson gets back. Mm-hmm. So like, I mean, what was the record of the Chiefs last year? 2-4? That's fine. And Chiefs got 2-4 last year or 2-5 last year?
That's true. I remember that now that you mention it. But let's talk about the Browns. I know you probably don't want to, but
no, I mean we talk about, man. The Guardians won, man. They won walk off home runs, one of the greatest moments of my life. You see that, by the way? Do you see that?
No, I didn't. I don't watch baseball.
No, motherfucker. Okay, so dude freaking walk-up song is SpongeBob SquarePants. The game went 15 innings. It was the most boring baseball game of my entire life. It went 15 innings, no score. Walks up, SpongeBob SquarePants is playing. Whole crowd, SpongeBob SquarePants. Hit a 400-foot home run. Flips the bat. Whole crowd go crazy. Good night. Bring on New York City.
Is that why you said that, you're going to go watch all 3 seasons of SpongeBob on Twitter?
Yeah, man. The whole city was happy. The whole city, like, dude, like my chair is about to break. I don't know why. Anyway. Hopefully my chair don't break on this podcast. That'll be some good content. The whole city was just happy. Like you're euphoric. Great time. The weather was great and everything. And then comes the Browns. Like they went up like 17 to like 7. Like they were like the offense was cutting through the freaking Chargers like it ain't no tomorrow. Our defense sucked, man. Our defense sucks. Like, I don't know who to blame more. Joe Woods, our run defense, like this dude, Austin Eckler, man, like they were literally going up to him and they were just bear hugging the guy. Like, hey, Austin Eckler, give me a hug. And I hug the guy. Like, literally, they have their full body on this dude. And they just fall right off. Like, what the heck, man? Like, I know paint. That paint wasn't adhesive to Austin Eckler. Like, what the heck, man? It's horrible.
Y'all went up 14-3 at one point. And so I mean, so I real quick question. What the hell is up with Cade York? Wasn't he supposed to be the answer?
He's falling apart like this chair is. I'm about to die, y'all. Yeah, he's falling apart with this chair. Let me just sit on the couch because I'm not trying to make an ass of myself on television.
Now, granted, a 54-yard field goal kick isn't like, that's there's no guarantee you're going to make a 54-yard kick, but didn't he miss 2 kicks in this game?
It's not like the kick was he didn't miss 2 kicks. And not like the 54-yard kick wasn't Like he had the leg strength for it. We draft you in the 4th round so you can make that kick. You made a 60-yard kick to beat the Panthers. But the thing is that look, I would defend Kevin Stefanski. I would defend that man, but he got to fix something, man. You know what the problem is with Kevin Stefanski? He got to grow a chest. Like man, like motherfucker, get mad, like yell, Kevin. Like get angry, man. Like this isn't Princeton. This is fucking Cleveland, man. Put the chest out, man. Punch somebody.
A lot of people say that about Zach Taylor a lot. They get annoyed because like he looks like he like is just kind of emotionless there on the sideline and like doesn't yell and stuff like that. And then but then to this week, when Lyle Collins like completely forgot his blocking assignment on that 4th down touchdown attempt and the whole play got blown up. Zach Taylor was like screaming at him on the sideline, and then everybody's like, oh, this is an ugly scene. Look at this horrible thing going on with the Bengals. Zach Taylor can't. And I'm like, y'all are the ones who are yelling at him to yell all the time. Like, what? Like, pick a lane.
No, the problem with Kevin Stefanski is he how do I describe it? Kevin Stefanski's like that principal or that teacher that you get away with anything. So like he's cool and all, but you know what I mean? Like, everybody, like it's Kevin, man. Like, hey, it's Kevin. Hey, we're chilling, man. We're chilling. It's Kevin. We don't gotta do anything. We work around here. It's Kevin. Like I feel like the players treat Kevin Stefanski. And the thing is, I like him. At the end of the day, you have the 5th most efficient offense in the NFL. 4th most. They're scoring points. They haven't stopped scoring points. There's 5 games. They score points every single game they play. So this is not a mirage. This is the offensive score. The problem isn't the offense. The problem is the defense. We'll get to that in a second. But the problem isn't Kevin Stefanski's play call in general. It's just his situational play call. Like, why are you not running it? Or why are you going for it on 4th down at your own 30? Or why aren't you running it? Or here's my biggest thing. Like, I'm out on Jacoby Brissett. I'm out on him. I'm completely out on him. I am. Because this dude threw a pick in the end zone.
Again.
Like, for me, that's when we lost the game. And people were like, oh, you think Deshaun Watson would fix this? Yeah. We'll be 5-0 right now with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I, honest to God, believe that. Maybe 4-1. I'd give you the Jets loss because that was completely on the defense. But we're going to be 5-0 with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. Deshaun Watson would have thrown a pick in the end zone like that. Deshaun Watson would have stalled on a 40-yard line like Jacoby Brissett did when we got the ball back. Deshaun Watson wouldn't have done these things. Deshaun Watson would be winning, man. Deshaun Watson's a top 5 quarterback. Now, I'm so frustrated with watching Jacoby Brissett. I want my $300 million quarterback so bad. God.
Okay, so I'm going to both disagree and agree with you for a second. I'm going to disagree because in the idea that you think that Deshaun Watson's going to solve all your problems. I'm going to stand on.
He won't solve all my problems.
Proven wrong. I'm going to stand on the hill that he's going to be a bit rusty when he comes back. And I mean, in the long run, yes, he might be very good for you guys, but I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback when he gets back. However, Thomas, on the last episode of the podcast, or the last recap episode of the podcast, and then the episode before that, and then also the episode before that, and I believe actually the episode before that, I kept coming on here and I kept saying, Thomas, Jacoby Brissett keeps throwing picks, like game destroying picks at the ends of games after long drives in the red zone. Like, this is a problem. This is a very big problem. And I believe Jacoby, I fully believe Deshaun Watson may piss you off and throw like some end zone picks, but he's not going to do it 3 weeks in a row. I know he won't do that.
You know what it is that the thing is, Kyle, is that you said it once And the first time I was like, nah. But the second time he did it, I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And I said that. I said, you're right. You don't got to keep on throwing that at me because I said, you're right. And then here's the thing about that. Here's the funniest thing about that. When they dropped back and pass, I was sitting there. I was like, dang, he's about to throw a pick right here. Like, I just knew that he was going to throw a pick. I was like, man, this dude's about to throw a pick. This idiot's about to throw a pick. I just kept on thinking to myself, like, man, this idiot's about to throw a pick. But I know he is. Not only did he throw a pick, he threw it right into his chest. He basically like, hey, motherfucker, have the ball. Yeah. Like, QB sneak is something, dude. You're a field goal for winning it. No, you don't do it, man. Red right 88. Red right 88. God damn it.
All right. So
can we talk about the defense? Because they suck.
Well, I mean, you can talk about the defense if you want in the next portion, but I want to go ahead and move on to the underrated player of the week.
For the Browns?
So, yeah, for the Browns. So I'm not entirely,
you go first.
I'm not entirely sure I have one. If there was anybody I would pick, it'd be Isaac Rochelle. Just because he came in, he's not a starter. He's not somebody who you really expect to do well, and he didn't play a whole lot of snaps. But when he did come in, he held his own, man. I mean,
I want more of him.
He played well, and I mean, he got a hit on Justin Herbert, and he stopped the run. He came in there and he did his job. And he kind of didn't. He did well at everything. It's like he was kind of consistently good at everything they asked him to do. He wasn't like really really good at one thing, but kind of struggling in other areas. Like he was kind of like solid across the board. And that's honestly like him and like Myles Garrett are the only two players on the team who I can think of who I have that opinion of at the current moment. Like everybody else has something that they're struggling with a little bit. Like, I mean, even Jacob Phillips, who I've called the underrated player of the week before, who is generally good at most things, could probably use a little bit of improvement in pass coverage, But, but Isaac Rochelle, I didn't really see a weakness in his game this week. And, once again, nobody really knows who he is. So I figured I'd give him a shout out.
No, Isaac Rochelle, I like him. He's been looking nice. He stepped big when Myles Garrett went out, and then now that Myles Garrett still hurt, he's still like he plays really hard. But my underrated player of the week is Donovan Peoples-Jones, because he keep on making big time third down catches consistently. Granted, they're scoring points. So, the offense is doing something. So, I got to give it to Donovan Peoples-Jones. He made some big catches. He's looking better this year.
I was thinking about going with him. I was kind of looking at everything that happened. I was thinking about going with him, but it's just like, like when Myles Garrett goes out, y'all think, oh God, we're screwed. And then, the guy comes in behind him and he does, a solid job. And I feel like you got to give props for that. So,
by the way, I got one question. You know this better than me. What's up with this Deion Jones guy?
Who?
Deion Jones. They traded for him. So Andrew Berry, after the game, traded for Deion Jones from the Falcons. Apparently he didn't leave the stadium. He went straight to his office. He started working a trade. So I'm just curious, what do you think of him?
I'm not super familiar with him. I believe he was a second round pick with the Falcons. And
he made one Pro Bowl. One Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of been there ever since. Decent rookie year. Had a good year in 2017, hasn't really done a whole lot since that. So it might really honestly just be one of those situations where like he's not getting enough, like could be like one of those things like when we traded for BJ Hill from the Giants. It could be one of those things like B.J. Hill, very good player, but he was just buried on the depth chart and wasn't really getting his chances. So that could be Deion Jones could be like one of those types of situations, buried on the depth chart, not getting his chances. But I mean, dude, his first 2 seasons in the NFL were solid. It's just like he never really kind of got back to that level.
Well, he's coming off a shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping for the best. I mean, they gave up a 7th round pick for him, so what
I mean, if you traded the 7th round pick for him, that's a solid pickup for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's going to make like a major impact because it really just kind of depends on where that. Because it was like I think 2021 when things kind of started going wonky for him, like injury wise. And ever since, so like really the last 2 years, it's like, he's flashed, but hasn't really been able to get going. And obviously last year he was on injured reserve. So, but I mean, yeah, Deion Jones, I mean, like if you gave up a 7th round pick for him, that's pretty solid. I don't know if he's going to like be a juggernaut for you or anything, but if you gave up a 7th round pick, then I imagine you'll get your value for that.
Hopefully help stop the run because they can't stop the run to save their life. God, they can't stop the run.
All right.
They don't feel like tackling.
So let's go ahead and talk about these predictions then, Thomas.
Awesome.
So I have noticed as I'm going through and counting up our the results on our predictions. We are both really, really. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I am really bad at picking AFC games. Like, I'm not terribly. Like you're not amazing at picking AFC games, but I'm like. Well, like every time like I go through these like predictions, I start out thinking, "Oh my god, I did horrible today," and just like I'm gonna have to come on and eat all this crow, and then by the time I'm done adding everything up, I'm like, "Oh wait, crap, I actually did quite well." It's just like a bunch of AFC games I am just getting slaughtered on. In particular, holy hell, New York Jets. Did you see that, Thomas? New York Jets beat the Miami Dolphins 40-17.
I didn't see that.
So when we did these predictions, I believe you said you were like, I think like the whole Tua injury. I feel like this is going to be the beginning of the season, kind of coming off the rails for the Miami Dolphins. And I was like, I don't agree with that. I like Teddy Bridgewater, and then Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. So they were playing Skylar Thompson for most of that game. Do you know who Skylar Thompson is, Thomas?
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. I don't know. I saw that he played and I didn't even bother looking him up. That's who Skylar Thompson is. So I don't know. So Teddy Bridgewater got a concussion. I don't think it's as severe as Tua's. I don't know how long Teddy's going to be out, but if they're down both Tua and Teddy, yes, their season's coming off the rails. I think they'll be fine if Teddy's the quarterback. But here's the thing: I don't think the Dolphins lose that game if Teddy Bridgewater's in at quarterback. Now their defense giving up 40 points to the Jets is concerning. But Tua's injury has nothing to do with the defense.
I think distractions are a real thing. I think that they're seeing a quarterback go down like that, man. Hearing the stuff that we're hearing about Teddy Bridgewater, some people saying he never play again, some people saying he won't play for the rest of the season. You gotta be snake bitten if you're a Dolphins player. You gotta be snake bitten.
I feel it. Yeah.
And the way they lost that, and then you got the hurricane, so you got to worry about your $1 million boat being floated out, man. They're probably worried about their boats, man. Like, I'm sorry about your boat. I'm sorry about your boat. Like, you know what I mean? Buy a new one. I'm sorry. I mean, like it's hard. It's hard for them right now. It's hard for Miami, man.
Yeah. So On the week, I actually I haven't had a time to I'll probably mention it next podcast. But I didn't have a chance to go check up what our current like overall season records are right now. So I'll just say on the current week, it's looking like I'm gonna win. Like I'm gonna come away ahead on the week. I believe we were tied, so this puts me back in the lead for the season. Now we obviously still have the Raiders Chiefs game to play, but we both picked the same team, and I'm 10-5 right now, and you're 8-7 on the week. So if the Raiders win, then I'll be 10-6, and you'll break even at 8-8. If the Chiefs win, then I'll be 11-5, and you'll be 9-7 on the week. So,
what this?
Hola, mi Brazil, from Brazil. Hola, Isake Santos.
Oh, what's up, Brazil?
Hi.
Brazil got like a lot of beautiful women.
It's true.
Like, you ever met a girl from Brazil? Like, I don't know. I've never been to Brazil, so I don't know. But every girl that I've met that's from Brazil, yeah.
I feel it. They got damn good food too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Brazil also kind of scares me because there's a lot of things, you know.
Yeah. That's where McDonald's goes.
Love Brazil. Hola, Brazil. Come on, stop.
I want to go visit Brazil. They got good food there.
They speak Portuguese. That's right.
They do.
I don't know. I know Spanish. I don't know Portuguese.
Yeah, I don't. I also don't know Portuguese, but I figure hola probably means hello because it sounds like the Spanish thing, and they're similar languages. They come from the same root. They're both Latin.
I see. Is hola me Brazilian? I am Brazilian. Somos os mujeres.
Somos os melhores. I think I have no idea what that means, and I don't know what the BR, but like brr, it's like like you know when people are like doing like talking about crypto and they like the meme like you know like Joe Burrow go brr like when something goes like that's what I brr and now it's a bunch of L's. Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you watching. I'm sorry,
me gusta es muy simpático.
That's Spanish.
Well, I mean, maybe he might understand the Spanish more better than the English. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to meet him halfway.
All right. So next game. Let's talk about first. I think games that we mutually got wrong. We talked about the Jets game, which only I got wrong. But I just wanted to highlight that one because that's insane to me that like the Jets beat the Dolphins by that much. I think he does understand though because he's laughing. But anyway, we both thought that the Denver Broncos were going to beat the Indianapolis Colts. And Thomas, did you watch that Thursday night game?
Yeah,
If you watch that Thursday night game, you might be entitled to financial compensation.
No, that was hell.
That was hell. That was horrible. And I've come on this podcast plenty of times, been like, I like defensive games. That was not a defensive game, Thomas. The defenses were playing fine, but the defenses weren't being spectacular. They were just taking advantage of horrible offense.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is washed. And I know. You're like, well, no, Thomas, he's not washed. He's okay. I'm not real. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that means.
Okay, so I think English. That's what it says down there. So English, I think, means English.
So he understands fair English.
Maybe he's saying he doesn't speak. I don't know what the rest of those words mean, but I know that last.
All right, look, I would say this in Spanish so everybody understands. Russell Wilson es muy malo, muy malo.
Yeah. Okay. So again, my whole point was not that he's not bad right now. My whole point is I don't know if he's washed up. I think the issue is that he's trying to play a style that isn't the style that he's good at. What he's trying to do is he's trying to play like a completely different quarterback. He's not using the thing that made him amazing in the first place. And being in a new system, that's probably part of why he's trying to adjust his style. So that's part of I think it's a combination of things why he's performing poorly. I don't think it's that he's bad though. I just think it's that I don't think he's like permanently bad. I just think like he needs to get his shit together.
He's old.
All right, so Texans Jaguars. We both picked the Jaguars here, which I thought was fair, and then that was another game that just not a whole lot of offense.
Wait, the Texans beat the Jaguars?
Oh yeah, 13-6. I guess the Jaguars were the contenders all along.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're in the worst division in football. They'll be fine.
I mean, you say that, but losing to the Texans doesn't help.
All right. So Tennessee's in first place. Is anybody really scared of Tennessee?
Well, they beat the Commanders. Yay!
Yeah. Whatever.
So, the next game that we let's see, I think that's all the games that we both got wrong. So you also got wrong. You thought the Lions were going to beat the Patriots, and that best offense in the NFL didn't show up.
I didn't. I just didn't think a third string quarterback would just do that good.
By the way, I see you, ZK. I'm just trying to get through this, so we'll put your comment up here in a second. But yeah,
I just didn't think a third string quarterback would be that good. I just did.
Well, it is the Lions defense.
That's true. But they can do shit. They can score them at all. We get the Patriots next week, so I'm confident. I'm confident in the Browns defense to give up a lot of points to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Very confident in the Browns defense. Dang, I want to talk about. Dang it, we play the Yankees. The Guardians play. Bring on the Yankees. I just want to think about the Yankees. Outside this podcast, I don't want to talk about football outside this podcast. Just want to talk about you see this? like this. Muy bien as Guardians. No me gusta Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns es muy malo. Guardians es muy simpático. No me gusta. Es muy sado.
Sado. I don't think that's how you say it. Okay, so I'm very proud of this one. My big upset of the week call, I got 100% right. And that was the New York Giants upsetting the Green Bay Packers. So I do unfortunately I think have to step up to the plate if we're going to be making baseball references. I got to step to the plate here and admit that the New York Giants might be a good team.
Yeah, man, Lamar Jackson will look nice in the New York Giants uniform.
No, look. I have some things to say about Lamar Jackson. I'm going to hold it, but I almost think Daniel Jones might be better, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
When are we going to start having a Lamar Jackson conversation? Can't wait to say that again.
We're about to. Last game that we need to talk about is you thought that the Rams would beat the Cowboys. My whole thought process is the Rams kind of concern me, and the Cowboys are hella underrated. So that's why I picked the Cowboys.
Yeah, man, the Cowboys found Jesus. I ain't go to every church the Cowboys are going to.
Well, that and the Rams this is the Rams and the Bengals are both proving to me that they're the same teams this year. Because don't forget, the fact that we got a Rams Bengals Super Bowl last year was really, really strange. Nobody would have said, in week 6 of last year, nobody on the planet would have said, yeah, Bengals Rams, that's the Super Bowl I'm expecting. Because the Rams weren't doing great with the regular season last year either.
My problem with the Rams, though, is they're getting old.
It's true.
And they got no way to get younger.
Yeah, because they got rid of all their draft picks. But then again, they can always just go spend more money, I guess.
I mean, like, yeah, but they don't really work in football for real.
But they won the Super Bowl, so it clearly does work.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but they trade. I mean, they won a Super Bowl because they make trades.
I mean,
they traded for the quarter. They traded picks for the quarterback, but now you don't have any assets to trade. You have no assets to replenish, and it's been proven that in free agency, replenishing in free agency is not a long-term fix.
Well, no, but if you constantly, if you do that every 3 years, then it doesn't matter if it's a long-term fix. So Matt Stafford, you just need Matt Stafford to last long enough until you get more draft picks in your arsenal. So if Matt Stafford is good enough to be the quarterback you need through next year, then you're going to have more draft picks.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, so let's talk. I want to start with the Steelers, just because they're so trash that we really honestly probably should just get them out of the way first. But dude, Kenny Pickett's not good. I thought Kenny Pickett was gonna be all right. I wasn't one of those people Kenny Pickett was not one of those quarterbacks who I flagged in the draft as I don't think he's gonna be any good. I thought he was gonna be okay, but bro, he sucks. And he's a rookie. Give him a second, but he sucks, bro.
Yeah, he's
those
trash.
Tiny little hands. He can't wrap his hand around the ball.
Yeah, he's trash.
Okay.
It's great, isn't it? It's like poetic. It's like poetic justice. It's like anybody else having fun watching the. Will you ever eat Brazilian cheese bread? That actually sounds really good.
Yeah. Okay. So it's called it's called what's it called? I know what you're talking about. It's called I forget the name of it, but it's delicious. Yes, I love Brazilian cheese bread.
Well, Kenny's picking to eat some Brazilian cheese bread because he's cheesed out.
Pau de queijo. That's what it's called. It's delicious, man.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
You suck.
Kenny Pickett is not good. The Steelers suck, bro.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's Brazilian cheese bread, but doesn't taste good. But Brazilian cheese bread sounds like it tastes good. I gotta try that.
I don't know.
Here's
the thing: Kenny Pickett's got these tiny little hands. I imagine that might actually work quite well if he's trying to do delicate culinary work. It's just he can't wrap his hand around football.
Yeah, the thing is, Kyle, I'm disappointed in you, man. Why are we making fun of his hands when we don't have to make fun of his hands no more? We can just make fun of how he plays. You suck, Kenny Pickett.
Because it's funny. That's why.
It's funny.
No, he did throw for over 300 yards. I mean, you got to give him credit, but he didn't get a single touchdown, and he threw a pick.
Yeah,
he's just not good. He's just not good. And again, to be totally fully fair, because I try to be as objective as I can. He's a rookie. I'm sure he'll be fine eventually, but right now he sucks, and maybe you should play Mitch Trubisky. But then again, maybe Steelers fans are like, oh, the season's already over. Might as well just get Kenny Pickett some experience. And it's okay, fair enough, as long as you don't think you're going to ruin him with that offensive line. The Steelers right now, the Steelers right now are everything that everybody was worried that the Bengals were going to be for Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow was good enough to overcome it all. Yeah, Zika, you're doing a good job, man. I can read it all just fine.
Brazilian cheese bread look as muy delicioso.
It is. It really is. It's fantastic. It's when my favorite part about going to eat at a Brazilian restaurant is just they're so good with meat at Brazilian restaurants. And they give you so much of it buffet style. But the pau de queijo is just it's everybody on the planet should know about this stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, yo quiero Brazilian cheeseburger. Yeah, come back every podcast, by the way.
Yeah, this guy's cool, man. I like him.
Wait, what the last comment he made?
He says he really. I think he meant to say football, but he said bootball. But I think he meant to say football. But I really like American football. My dream is to go there and play in the United States. You're the best. I'm a fan of yours. Well, I'm a fan of yours, Ezike.
Dude, make it here. Play for the Browns.
Yeah. We'll have you on the podcast.
I have you on the podcast. I can't wait to see you play. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Come back every Monday and Tuesday. How you say that in Portuguese?
I have no idea. I have no idea. It's way
Monday and Tuesday in Portuguese.
I don't even know like a funny, because I don't know enough about Portuguese to know even like a funny way to say it. But all right, so that's the Steelers. There's really not much to analyze here. The Steelers are bad. My senior year high school English teacher was a big Steelers fan. I just saw him post that this is the worst Steelers team in over 20 years, and it's like, y'all deserve it, honestly. Like I've waited so long for the Steelers to just be trash. Thank God. Because I get so sick of these like Steelers fans who just act like they're just hot shit all the time and just can do whatever they want. Now you're getting a little bit of a dose of reality. So shut the hell up and sit in the background.
Well, why should the Steelers be bad like this? Is like watching your favorite villain or the villain you hate the most get his ass beat. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Like it's so fun watching the Steelers just lose. Like I remember like how depressed they looked after that Browns game. Like the fans,
they
looked defeated. They looked like they look like their soul without like we kicked their ass.
You kicked their ass. You kicked their soul's ass is what happened. Like you broke them.
We kicked them so bad. It was like we got to put a Kenny Pickett, man. We're bad. Like. Man, that was great.
Yeah, like we broke them with the whole Juju thing, and then y'all finished them off, and it was just like it was like the alley oop and the dunk, and it was like,
oh yeah, that was great.
It was like the one time I've really been like, yeah, go Browns, man.
They need to fire everybody, Tomlin.
Yeah. All right, so Let's move on though. Like I said, I got some stuff to say about Lamar Jackson, and I meant it. So
I want to hear it.
First of all, I will give the man all the credit in the world for winning the football game and having some really good runs. He is really quite a good running quarterback. But bro, he is not good at passing the ball. Like, I mean, and he can be, but he's really inconsistent at it. And like honestly, the way the Bengals defense was playing, they should have beaten us like 30 plus points, right? But like Lamar Jackson just kept overthrowing dudes who were like wide open for touchdowns. And the fact of the matter is, like, honestly, the Ravens shouldn't pay him. For the sake of the Ravens, they should move on. They should not pay him. Now, I mean, like, if he was willing to play for like, you know, a reasonable contract, then yeah, maybe, you know, you bring him in because like you can win with him. He's not like horrible, but he's not like a transcendent quarterback. He has major issues, and you kind of have to scheme around him when you're playing with him on your team. And he's fine. And if you give him like an Andy Dalton type contract, then you can keep him around, sure. But to pay him what he wants to be paid, like you can't do that. You're gonna sink your team. And when he goes and plays for the Giants next year, Thomas, because I know you keep pointing that out, the Giants are going to screw themselves because they're going to have to pay him so much money, and they're not going to be able to play other people to play around him. And then the Giants are going to basically have the same damn problems the Ravens have been having for the last couple of years.
We're finally having a Lamar Jackson conversation. It's just like I've been waiting for this moment for 2 years. Like, when are we going to have the Lamar Jackson conversation? You know. Let me say this about the Ravens. Let me say what's going to happen to the Ravens this year. The Ravens going to win a couple more games. Probably beat the Browns. Yeah, maybe. They're going to collapse in the second half. They've been collapsing in the second half every year, just been getting earlier and earlier. And like people forget, Lamar Jackson's passing stats, were the same as Baker Mayfield's last year. Like they were the exact same. And Baker Mayfield had an injured shoulder. Lamar Jackson didn't play hurt. When Lamar Jackson got hurt, he set. Baker Mayfield played while he was hurt. They got the same stats. They got the same amount of picks. Both teams had the same record. So literally, Lamar Jackson did just as much for his team as Baker Mayfield. In fact, hold on. I'll take even further than that. Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield literally both only have one playoff win, right? Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield literally done the same exact thing. The only difference between Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield is Lamar Jackson had this magical thing called MVP. And let me say this. Is nothing but a name. MVP is nothing but a name. Is nothing but a name. I want MVP. Cool. Win a game for me. Win a playoff game for me. Win a Super Bowl. Well, I got MVP. Well, win a Super Bowl. Win me a Super Bowl. Win me more than one playoff game. You're supposed to be this transcendent, one-of-a-kind quarterback. But, you have more playoff losses than wins. You throw just as many picks as Baker Mayfield does. So you only score 19 points against the Bengals. You know, you're getting worse. And I get it that there's not a lot of talent around you right now. But, you're supposed to be Lamar Jackson. So, what's going to happen is that defense is going to figure out him. And as the year goes on, as always, he's going to get worse and worse and worse. And at the end of the season, the Ravens are going to start slumping. They might squeak into the playoffs, but they're going to be an early first-round exit. Come on, man. He can't pass. Dude can't pass. That's why he didn't get paid, because he can't throw the ball.
Yeah. That's the thing that's the problem. Like, he can pass. Like, he is a capable quarterback. He's really inconsistent. Like there's like one or two throws that he made during that game, and I'm just like, bro, how do you? I can't even be mad about that throw. That was such a damn good throw. Bengals had good coverage, and you threw in the perfect spot. That was impressive. But then he does other things, like he's just running around, just not really paying attention, and then he's got a wide open Rashad Bateman. Or was it Devin? I think it was Devin Duvernay. Rashad Bateman wasn't in. But he had a wide open Devin Duvernay down the field who just burned the hell out of Eli Apple. And he throws it 10 yards in front of him. And it's just like, dude, are you a good quarterback or are you not?
His QBR.
He's talented, but he relies so much on his legs, and it seems like he doesn't pay attention to his to honing his craft as a passer.
His QBR, ESPN's QBR, was 27.6. Last game, his QBR was 48.7. So that's not good. Neither of those are good. Granted, he did have a 86 QBR against the Patriots, and an 82 QBR against the Dolphins. But his QBR last game, 27.6. That ain't good.
Yeah.
59% completions. Yeah, man. 1 touchdown, 1 reception. It's not good.
Yeah, and to be honest, he could have had 400 yards passing on the day and 4 touchdowns. And the interception was a great play by Von Bell. But he still could have had 4 touchdowns and 400 plus yards passing. He just missed a bunch of dudes. He was just missing dudes all day. And I was like, hey, I'll take it. And I do think some of it. I think some of it, to be fair to the Bengals defense, because I've kind of been sort of unfairly trashing them. To be fair to the Bengals defense, I do think some of that was the Bengals defense was getting really good pressure on Lamar Jackson and forcing him to get rid of the ball early. So I think some of it was just he wasn't ready to throw the ball, and he just kind of had to make a throw when he wasn't ready, and that's part of why he had some accuracy issues. But at the same time, it was really consistent throughout the whole game having a lot of accuracy issues. And like, if you're going to be like a, elite NFL quarterback, you can't be having accuracy issues like that. You know what they call people like that? They call them Andy Dalton.
Yeah, man, his accuracy gets worse as the season goes on.
Lamar Jackson is
It's a
Andy
pattern.
Dalton with good legs.
It's a pattern, man. It's a pattern. He gets worse as the season goes on. That's the thing. He's like that every year. Like his stats just go downhill after second half of the season. I wonder if I can find his stats so I can look at this real quick. But yeah, no, I mean, like, I just think I'm just so happy that you're coming around to that. I'm so happy you're coming around to that. I thought I was a crazy man. I am a crazy man.
I mean, yeah. See, okay, so like, I do want to be clear, and I'm not really changing my opinion on Lamar Jackson significantly. I'm changing a little bit of my stance because I'm seeing the evidence, right? I'm seeing so much of this. He's consistently inconsistent. It reminds me so much of Andy Dalton, and it's just like one of those things. Like I said, he would be a good person for the Ravens to build around, but not for the money he's asking for. Like, honestly, Thomas, you should be rooting for the Ravens to get a deal done with Lamar Jackson because they will really screw themselves if they have to pay him. Like you shouldn't be rooting for him to go to the Giants. You should be rooting for him to get paid by the Ravens because they will shoot themselves in the foot if they do that because he's not good enough for that kind of money. Like, I mean, he looks good enough. He's flashy. He probably deserves that amount of money because he's probably bringing in all sorts of money for the NFL and the Ravens, and like the revenue for these organizations is probably like massively huge. Like the percentage is probably massively more with Lamar Jackson on your team because he's really exciting to watch play. But from a football standpoint, he's not worth the contract.
Well, we'll see what happens next year.
If you want to spite the Ravens, you should be rooting for them to sign him, honestly.
I kind of do because, like, I don't think that they'd be able to build build anything sustainable around him because, like, it's year 5. I mean, all right, so, like, I was looking at his stats last year. Like, so, if you just look at, like, if you look at his games last year, he got progressively worse as the season went on. Like I said, he threw 4 picks against the Browns. Mm-hmm. That was bad. This dude threw 4 picks against us. If you watch his last couple games, he threw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of his last 6 games, he threw a pick. And not only did he throw a pick, he threw 2, 3, 7. He threw 8 picks in his last 5 games that he played last year. He threw 8 picks in his last 5 games last year. Mm-hmm. Y'all want to give that man $300 million? 8 picks.
That's what I'm saying.
In his last 5 games. He had a 48%. In October of last year, he beat the Chargers, great win against the Chargers, but then it started going downhill. In October of last year, he had a completion percentage of 48.4% against the Bengals, where the Bengals smoked them 41-17. Against the Chargers, they won against the Chargers in overtime. Vikings in overtime. But he still threw 2 picks. Against the Dolphins, he lost to the Dolphins last year. A bad Dolphins team last year. 1 interception. And then against the Browns, he had a horrible game where he won. I don't know how he won that game. Oh, that's right. We had Baker Mayfield on the team. Where he had 4 interceptions and only 1 touchdown. And then against Steelers, he loses against the Steelers. Don't know how that happened. You're supposed to be the king. Interception against Steelers, bad game against Steelers. And then he gets hurt against the Browns. Like, he just hasn't been good. He's not good in the second half of the season. He throws lots of picks in the second half of the season. Now, he's a great runner. He can run his ass off. Great runner. And, like you said, he can make some good passes here and there. But, like, can you consistently sit in the pocket and beat people with your arm? You can't. Or you haven't. I'm sorry. I like my quarterback to throw. I need my quarterback to be able to throw at least a little bit.
Did I? I think I accidentally took the thing off. Oops. I think we've been doing the stream mostly without that, but it doesn't really matter. I think I think that's probably it for today's episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys.
Yep.
Let us know what you think about Lamar Jackson, in the comments, because I'm kind of at the point where I'm just like, he's not a top 10 quarterback anymore. He's just not. Like, he's a top 10 talent and he can do a lot of amazing things, but he's not a top 10 quarterback. And he doesn't have the talent to, like, the arm talent for it. So, I mean, he's not even like that's the thing. Like Russell Wilson, right, is the kind of player who, like, can do similar things to Lamar Jackson. I mean, obviously not like highlight level similar things, but still similar things to Lamar Jackson, and he's got the arm talent. That's the thing that Lamar Jackson, like Patrick Mahomes, right? He's got both. Lamar Jackson has got incredible, like he's an incredible runner of the ball, and he's kind of an average passer. Like I said, he's basically if you took Andy Dalton and gave him Michael Vick's legs, that would be Lamar Jackson. So that's pretty much where I'm at with Mr. Lamar Jackson there. But like I said, that's pretty much going to be it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps, my YouTube channel, which is just Kyle Phelps. I've been a lot more active on that lately. Streaming as many games as I can, just because, I mean, I'm watching them at my house anyway. Might as well, hang out with you guys. And then atbnetwork.com. I haven't been doing a whole lot of writing with them lately, but they're the ones who are being nice enough to give us access to StreamYard and all of these cool, like professional tools and everything like that. So at the very least, even if you don't go check me out at atbnetwork.com, just check them out in general. Like, they're awesome, Yeah,
thank you, ATB Network. Like, honestly, like we gotta keep this podcast going because this setup y'all give us is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Y'all treat us well. Yeah, y'all cool people. Y'all cool people.
We took kind of an unexpected break over the off season, and and like when we were ready to get back going again, they were just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, here you go. Like, they didn't even like ask where we were or anything like that. They just real supportive. So I'm a big fan of
ATV. By the way, guys, I'm sorry about that break. Want to apologize. Sometimes you just need some time for your own mental health.
Yeah, it was both of us, man. Like, I was trying to start a new business, and I didn't have time to pour it into stuff that I really wanted to. So yeah, I think it was both of us, really.
Yeah.
But like I said,
we're back.
We are back, and we're going to be back as much.
We're back. Ripping Lamar Jackson some more.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz, you trash.
And Daniel
watch him Thursday night against the Bears.
But anyway, that's all we got this week, guys. So I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hoo-day.
Go Browns.